When you're on a weight loss eating regime, healthy calories are essential for success, and falling to temptation is inevitable on occasion. Today on Food Journey, we will be cooking some very clever, healthier alternatives to a few of your favorite temptations to keep you on track. Hello and welcome back to the Food Journey Kitchen. We started off 2022 on a health kick with our recipes, and today is no different, where we're looking at clever ways to stay on track with new, healthier eating. I personally don't like the word diet. It makes me feel like I'm living in a cage of restrictions where it's really about introducing yourself to abundance, excitement, and experimentation with all the foods that you can have. So for all those days when you feel like steering off track and falling into temptation, I have some exciting alternative recipes which will keep you focused, satisfied, empowered about your choices, and encouraged to keep on track. And here's our delicious menu for today. We're starting off with a pizza you can eat with abandon, followed by a meatless burger delight. And then it's all in the dip with lots of color and crunch. I've chosen pizza because in my regime, it's the one takeaway I feel I shouldn't have for all the guilt I feel afterwards. But wouldn't it be amazing if you could have a pizza that you could eat the entire piece and not feel guilty afterwards? And that's exactly what we're going to do. Okay, everybody, we are making the crust that you have never seen before. And starting off with our handy grater and, of course, cauliflower and mozzarella cheese. Wow, look at that. What we've got to do really is grate this, and we need about 2 cups of each. So just sort of break off the florets. These are nice ones, and grate away. And when I say grate, I also mean these bits as well. They're included. So this side of the grater, let's get it turned the right way and start grating. We're making a low-calorie crust with 2 cups of cauliflower and mozzarella. Look at the difference in calories between the 2 types of crust. Next up, mozzarella. I've had this in the fridge because it's easier to handle when it's cold, and we're just going to go ahead and use the same grater, same side of it to grate the mozzarella. Very interesting having mozzarella that you expect to have on top in the crust. You learn something new every day, don't you? So we're just going to go for it. Once both are grated, simply mix gently together for the next stage. Cut out a circular round of parchment paper and place it, and lightly oil before the base goes on. So having tipped out some of the mixture, I'm just spreading it in a thin fashion around the base of the pie dish. And we're going to bake this for 15 minutes. Make sure it's nice and thin. There we go. Now that we have our cruciferous crust in the oven, every good pizza needs a great sauce, and ours shall not be without one. We are making a simple tomato sauce that anyone can put together. Just some fine herbs, salt and pepper, some garlic. You'll love it. So I think this must be the umpteenth million time that you've seen me cut onions. I will never stop telling you about how these beautiful God-made lovely thin lines serve to help us when we're doing a fine dice. Because all you do is turn it on its side, control it, and all of a sudden you've got a trouble-free dice. Less crying and an instant result. Like that. See? And for the amounts of sauce that we're making, I really think that this is enough onion. That's all. And then a bit of green pepper. Lovely. Just going to cut some of that and then into strips. going for this one. Just a little cheek of green pepper is enough. We've done that. And then the last thing, of course, garlic. I couldn't have my pizza sauce without some garlic. So good for you as well. It wouldn't be me if it didn't have the heat. So definitely including some of this chili just to liven things up, shall I say. Little bits of it so we're not choking anyone in the process when they eat the sauce. So there we go. That's our lineup. Add a little bit of parsley, which I'm just going to squunch up and slice rustic style. And there we go. Those are our basic ingredients done.
To a small pot, add some olive oil.
And once we have that warmed up, we're just going to add in our ingredients. Our onions, get them going. Add in your green pepper. And add in the peppers, but not the garlic yet. We don't want it to get bitter. So we're just going to sweat these down in this hot pan till they're translucent. To that, we are adding a little of my vegetable seasoning and some black pepper, as well as some salt. And really, these are the only seasonings apart from the garlic that we're going to be using. I think my fire is a bit high. I'm turning it down a little. There we go. So it's not too angry. And these don't burn. So this tomato paste I'm putting in because it also helps to make the paste a little bit thicker. But we need to cook it out to get that sour edge off of it. So just as much as we're mixing it in here, I'm adding a tiny bit of water just to allow it to cook out. I'm going to do that twice before I add the rest of the chopped tomato mix that I'm adding. Time to add in our tomato, and that is 1 tin of chopped tomato. Mixing that in together, and at this point also adding in my garlic and my parsley, half of it. Starting to look like a pizza sauce now, isn't it? And we'll just let that go. Not even covering it.
I'm tasting this. And it's spot on, so we're good to go. Our cauliflower and mozzarella crust is ready and looking absolutely inviting.
The beautiful sauce is ready. Look at that. And all we're going to do on our crust, with which we have removed the parchment paper, is just lay on this amazing sauce. And just like a real pizza, well, this is a real pizza, just with a different crust. We're going to go almost to the edge, but not quite to the edge. Lovely. And then I'd like to add one of my favorite things, tuna packed in water. That way we haven't got the added oil and we don't have the saltiness either. So sprinkling that around as well. Yummy. Lovely.
It's an essential topping of mozzarella and a sprinkle of parsley to crown off this terrifically guilt-free pizza at only 50 calories a slice. And I'm eager to see just how this low-calorie version tastes.
Just look at that, everyone. This is the part you like when I taste, and I'm going to, I tell you. Let's dig in. I have to tell you, so good. What I love is that base. Who knew? What a great combination, and I'm going to be doing this every time. While there's really nothing wrong with having the occasional hamburger, and I love one, but in 2022, I'm trying to reduce my intake of red meat just a bit, and I'm experimenting today instead with a beautiful alternative, the veggie burger. Shall we try that together? The meatiness is really going to come from the mushrooms, that umami taste that you really like. We're also adding beans and an additional filler as well, some brown wheat bread. The meatiness is really coming from the mushrooms, that umami taste that you love, and beans. And we're also using an additional filler. Seasoning it right and baking it instead of frying it will keep us on track with our unwanted calories without compromising taste.
These champignons just need to be cut into pieces because we're blending in a food processor. We're also adding these kidney beans, rich in protein, minerals, and antioxidants, as well as some brown bread as filler.
So let's put in the kidney beans, putting in about half a cup of these. There we go. Too easy. What else am I adding? I'm going to add some parsley, because I think it'll add a nice flavor. Let's get that in there. Stems and all. Great. Let's add a little bit of garlic, because what we're trying to do is to get maximum flavor into this and treat it really kind of the way I would have treated meat if I were using that. So just peeling 1 clove of garlic, I think that'd be great, and just cutting it in half like that and plopping it also into the food processor. What else? Some onion. Half an onion. Just cutting a little bit of that. I don't really want too much because it has a tendency to overtake, especially if it's raw. So there we go. That's that. What's last? The bread. Here we go. A couple of pieces will do. This is your filler. Just as you kind of use oatmeal or anything like that. Just let's get that in there. Breaking this last piece up. Let's have a look over the top, and you can see everything in there ready to go.
A few seasonings, and we're using salt, black pepper, and some vegetable seasoning too. With this blend, I'm expecting to achieve a consistency that's coarse, but a bit mushy as well.
So let's have a look at this. Aha! This is what I want. Look at that. It almost looks like minced meat, doesn't it? And you can see that there's still some liquid in there that the oven baking is going to take care of to dry out. Lovely. I think we're good.
You'll need a baking tray and a little oil.
So with this lovely mixture that's nice and moist, we're going to be drying it out and cooking it further in the oven. So I'm making burger shapes. I've slightly oiled my tray because I really don't want them sticking. So let's have a look at that. I think this could be bigger because I do want this burger to fill my bun. So flattening out a bit like this. It's remarkable the way it kind of looks like minced meat. The fun of a burger also has to do with those yummy toppings that we add to it as well. And we won't be shortchanging ourselves on that. We've got a beautiful creamy base, and we've got other delicious things like a lovely salsa to make it just like a burger, but not like a burger. So again, we love a fine dice, don't we, on Food Journey? And this will be no exception. We're really going fine this time because I want to make sure that we don't have huge bits of onion running through the salsa. So that's that done. Adding on our lovely pepper, just slicing that like so. And again this way. It's going to have lovely red flecks running through it, which is going to be very beautiful to look at. So for the tomato, I really don't want the seeds for this one. I just want the beefy outer bits. So I'm just carving around the outside like this, minding your fingers to dice this beautifully. We've almost got all the components for the salsa. Just a bit that we need for these two burgers. Adding in a bit of parsley. What I do is just scrunch it up like this. You're also bruising it when you do this and releasing some of those oils within. And for this, a nice little chop. I can smell that. It's so fresh and lovely. And look at that color. So there you go, the basics and some lime. Let's just cut the cheeks of the lime.
All we need to do now is simply put this together. With a good glug of olive oil, a beautiful mix, and what a rich and healthy salsa. Our burgers are ready, and it's remarkable how beefy they look. Firm on the outside and a little bit softer on the inside. All that's left now is to finish off our dressing, and it's taste time. It's a few additions for our Greek thick yogurt instead of mayo.
And there you go, a really tasty dressing for our burger bread. Let's put this beautiful burger together. Veggie burger time. First things first, this beautiful, thick, mayonnaise-like spreadable base all over the bottom there of our burger. And I just want a tiny smidgen on the top too, so it's not dry.
Now let's stack this burger up with lettuce and our beautiful veggie burger, topping our tomatoes with black pepper. And now the salsa.
There's only one way to do this, and that's just to grab this burger and
Veggie burger, we love you.
Going out socially can be one of the pitfalls when you're trying to implement a new, healthier eating plan, unless you're really adept at reading a menu and are really conscious about your choices. But when I'm in control of my own social scene, on my table, one of the go-tos is hummus, because this is really healthy, delicious, filling, and there's so many extra things you can add to it to make it a great snack and even a delicious light meal. I love hummus, and one of the great things about hummus is the base is made of chickpeas, high in protein and really good for you. So this time I noticed that the hummus is a bit red, and that is because it is now made with a bit of pepper. So this has changed the color, so don't be alarmed if you're used to seeing it a lighter brown. So these chickpeas have been blended gloriously into a paste. Wonderful for us because it's so much easier to mix without a blender. Then tahine, which is sesame paste. And this is really beautiful stuff. And we're going to pour in a very essential 3 tablespoons of this into our mix like so. No hummus is hummus without the tahine. So don't be fooled into thinking that you don't have to do anything to the pre-mixed and mashed chickpea. We're adding garlic, another essential part. So to this beautiful mix, we're definitely starting off with a little bit of salt. And let's just put that in there. You can't take it out, but you can add more, so that's good for me for the moment. And definitely, my flavor of choice for my hummus is cumin. And I've got just about enough left over here to make an impact. There you go. Hummus needs lime. And again, the cheeks, because this is where I'm going to get maximum ease for squeezing out the juice. So basically, once you've done enough of these, and for me that's about 3 to 4 of these limes, you're going to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze out the lovely juice. Interesting combinations, amazing result. Just to give it that beautiful, lovely tang that it needs. Now with hummus, you can also taste it once you've done a preliminary mix and then start correcting it. So if it's a little bit more lime you need, you can put it in. If it's a little bit more salt or heat, you can do that too. See the thickness that we've got here? This is really great for a dip. You don't want it runny. You want to be able to have something that your vegetables will cling to. Okay?
We are adding a meat protein and a little green pepper, onion, and garlic is all we need.
And adding that. Let's break it up. And while it's in this semi-raw state, we can add in just the rest of that cumin really that I had left. And we're going to add some black pepper, like so. Okay, we're dumping in our garlic now just before the meat's completely closed up so that it can penetrate, and I'm kind of pressing this down too because I want that meat to just be a little bit more loose.
It's about the fresh, crunchy, textural vegetables which we're going to dip instead of salty crisps and chips to avoid hidden extra calories. When plating hummus, just go for a deep bowl. Form a well and place a little of your meat in the middle majestically and anoint with olive oil. Add the other elements artfully. And you're ready to enjoy with your friends. Too easy. So delicious.
Well, everyone, we have come to the end of all our beautiful recipes, and I hope you've learned something new today, how to keep yourself on track and away from all those temptations in some cases. I wish you a beautiful week, a healthy week, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Food Journey has a new Instagram. It's FOODJERNY @Food Journey. So if you were following us before, please come and follow us here now.